This is my 1845 Madeira. It's almost the last bit of it, so you better enjoy it.
I'm Matthew Horkey. For the last 7 years, I've traveled around the world tasting thousands of wines annually in search of the most unique, exciting, and expensive bottles on the planet. In recent years, I think Madeline from Wine Folly was the first to kind of open an old wine on video.
Now I have this crazy opportunity where we get to open a 40-year-old bottle of wine.
But a few months ago, Constantin Baum released a video that went for 2 million views.
Hi, I'm Constantin Baum, Master of Wine, and today I'm going to taste a very special wine. A wine that was made before the car and the telephone were even invented. This is a bottle of 1863 Burmester port wine. What the...
After that, the floodgates opened. Every wine YouTuber tried to copy that idea.
I have here something special to you. 1863.
This wine was bottled nearly 100 years ago. We're gonna open it up to see what's inside.
A few weeks ago, Constantine was at it again.
And today we're going back in history. Baseball was a new trend sport and rubber bands were a recent invention. With this 1845 177-year-old Madeira wine.
I actually reached out to him and said, hey, if you have a little sample of that, I'd love to taste it on video. And what do you know? He said, yeah. The next thing was the most difficult part. Constantine was sending a small unmarked bottle of alcohol. I needed to email dozens of importers asking for favors, asking somebody to help me because they'd have to fill out all the paperwork and go through all the bureaucracy just to get me this tiny little bottle of Madeira. But thankfully, I got somebody to help me out. I'm excited because I just got an email from Constantine with a little video message. Let's see what it says here.
Hey Matthew, what's up? This is my 1845 Madeira. It's almost the last bit of it, so you better enjoy it. I'm looking forward to the video and I'm going to send this out right now.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Now, I just gotta wait. Workspace a mess, but after a month, it's finally here. Oh, it's right on the top. It's right on the top. Wow. So there it is. Almost 200 years of history in this little bottle. Crazy. My friends at Avanyanasi, I had to have them help me import this into America because it's an unmarked, unlabeled bottle of alcohol, and they were nice enough to do it. I'm gonna let this rest for a day or two, and then we're gonna taste it. I'm pumped. This wine finally made it. This is incredible. I also reached out to Cossart Gordon. They offered to send some other samples of Madeira, but I'm gonna do a comparison of Tawny Port versus Madeira in an upcoming video. But the cool thing they sent, because they knew I had this wine, was this little box. It's got a 2006 Bual Madeira. Same variety as this one right here. So let's taste that first. As much as we like to get romantic about wine that was available hundreds and hundreds of years ago really doesn't resemble anything that's made today. Wine changes due to consumer fashion. It's wines like these, Madeira, Port, Sherry, Commanderia, wines like this that have really stayed the same. Actually, to me, it's one of my great sadnesses. I've been to every great wine region in Europe except Madeira. It's a wine that became popular because Portuguese explorers stopped at the island of Madeira on the way to Africa, South America, Asia, and when the wine started to oxidize, started to heat up, sailors, the people started to notice that they started to taste a little bit better. We even have a term in the wine world called Madeirized, when a wine tastes baked and doesn't have fresh fruits anymore. These wines are they're basically heat treated, they're super oxidized, so they are basically indestructible. You can open these up and they're supposed to last for a couple of years even after you open them. There's no wine like this. This is from 2006, Bual Madeira, single harvest, Colheita. 2006, I started the Appalachian Trail with a bunch of hikers that were starting for the season going through. And I remember I was really close. They told me on the third day I had to go back, and one of them turned around to me and said, look, I have enough food to get to the next stop. Why don't you come with me? Just leave school, leave your life, just come with us. And for that split second, I thought about it. Here we go. I can already smell it coming out of the glass, like a brown, tawny-like color here. And it's... These wines, a lot of wine critics, wine geeks try to lift these wines up to try to keep them alive because they're not super popular with consumers because they're so unique. I personally love this style. You'll find the style also some Rancio wines from the south of France. If you want toffee, coffee, like almond syrup, ground coffee bean, vanilla bean, and even like a little bit of tangerine peel, tangerine zest. Oh, the toffee is what really, the toffee and the caramel is really what sticks out in these type of wines. Really good. Oh, so good. Even some banana peel. These are the types of wines that go great with cheeses, great after dinner drinks. It's late in the evening, that's why I'm drinking it. I'm not gonna spit this, I'm gonna drink it. Just such an odd combination of savory flavors along with fruit. Oh, a lot of bitter, like 90% dark chocolate, caramel, toffee, butterscotch. It's not a dry wine, but it tastes more dry because of the acidity. Again, some dried orange peel, dried pineapple even, dried mango. Fortified wines, because Madeira fortified wines. What happens is during the fermentation process, brandy's added to them to stop fermentation that leaves some sugar in them. Fortified wines, I really sometimes have a problem with alcohol burn. That's why I don't like whiskeys. Really high quality fortified wines are like this, integrated, really nice. Stellar wine. You ready for this? It's really cool because this bottle, it was a Solera that started in 1845 to celebrate the company's 100-year anniversary. I actually emailed them because there's some records. It says it was bottled in 1988, but there weren't records to see where it was stored from 1845 to 1903. I asked them, they say, sorry, we don't have records in the 19th century. Great Madeiras went on long journeys that became really popular in America. In fact, the Declaration of Independence was signed and toasted with a glass of Madeira. This made it from Portugal to Constantine's home in Germany. They had to go to Italy, and finally, we're gonna taste it. And it's amazing, like this couldn't happen with any other type of wine, but Madeira is basically indestructible. Oh, this is much, much, much darker than the 2006 1845. I just tried to look up some things that happened during that time. I mean, the only thing maybe that's, pertinent to me is Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven was published then.
Quoth the Raven.
Eat my shorts. Bart, stop it. He says nevermore.
The light bulb wasn't even invented then. I don't think the light bulb was invented until about 1870. Grant, this is a Solera, so there are some other vintages blended in, but the first vintage, coming up on 178 years old pretty soon, almost 200 years old. And, let's give it a go. Last time I tasted a wine from the 1800s was in Portugal, in Old Tawny Port. Before I actually taste this is to me what wine's all about. Sweet wines to me, some of these old school wines, are the most magical transformation from grape into wine of any single wine I know. There's a reason that hundreds of years ago, sweet wines were the wine of kings, because back then there were sugars. You didn't have Coca-Cola. If you had something that was naturally sweet, plus had a little alcohol, got you a little high, no wonder people loved it, adored it, sought it out. And then this to me is what, it took so much effort to get this here. The first time I actually talked with Constantine is when our channels were about the same size in 2021. We just talked about YouTube, our goals, and everything like that. So funny because a month later his channel started to blow up. If I would have reached out to him, anytime after that, maybe he wouldn't even contacted me. He was nice enough to send this. Max from Avagnanesi was nice enough to help me ship it here. Avagnanesi, they sponsored a few videos 1 year ago, and those videos, what the revenue I made from that really helped me keep the channel alive during earlier this year, so awesome. And then one girl that's working at Avagnanesi, she's from China. I met her at Wine to Wine, and I met her on Clubhouse. This brings together a lot of people. He opened this a month ago. Molasses, cane sugar, meat, chocolate, dark chocolate, pepper, lemon zest, not tangerine, lemon zest. This still smells like, these Madeiras are indestructible, man. This wine's, pushing on 200 years old, and it's been also opened for a month, and wines usually fall apart when they're exposed to oxygen, but Madeira has just been blasted with heat and so much oxygen, so basically these things just don't die. Super rich. Wow, I have goosebumps. When you get when you open wine at the end of the day, yes, it is a great wine is just fermented grape juice. But at the end of the day, what product that you can consume can last up to 200 years? And can last especially after you open it for a long time. I think that's what makes wine so incredibly special. In great wines, you really sense it on the palate. It's kind of got like this ethereal mouthfeel, so to speak. Literally gives me goosebumps. Also, when you open a grape wine, it's all about ceremony. Like I was talking about, all the help I needed just to get this bottle of wine. Oh, there's a little bit of heat, not that much. Actually finishes much drier, leathery, and savory on the back end. I'm usually disappointed with older wines a lot. This is something I would, 96, 97, 98 point range. Something that's truly ethereal. Power of wine, connected with a fellow YouTuber. I get to sit there, taste it with you, share it with the internet, share it with you. I get to interact with you in the comments below. I think that's what wine is. It really brings people together. Great wine brings those that you love, gets them at the table and keeps them there just a little bit longer. And it's not about names. You don't need to drink 200-year-old wine. Just whatever you open that you really enjoy, that gives you memories, make sure to share it with people. Constantine, Max, Xiaowin, and the team at Cossart Gordon, thank you so much for allowing me to have this experience. I'd love to hear from you. What is the oldest bottle of wine that you've tasted? Leave it in the comments below. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you soon.